welcome or welcome back to Laugh, Learn, and Share with your girl, Ivan Shiko. Now, guys, today I have decided that you're going to have one of our read throughs back to back with the other video because I've realized the longer I take to do one of these, the longer I take to do this. So, today, guys, I've decided you're going to begin with this. Currently, it's around 10:30. Practical timing for shooting this so that we can all sleep meditating on what you're going to do now, guys. Today's read through is called Unlock Your Potential. It's a good book. Actually, I hope it can see. I don't know whether my camera is zooming, the lighting. Yeah, it's called Unlock Your Potential by Dr. Engelbart. Yeah, I hope I said that right, and if I butchered the name, sorry. Now, guys, the good thing about this book is that it's really small and it's in form of a story. I like motivational books that are in form of a story because it's so easy to relate. Today we are just going to have a bit, and trust you guys, I've already written some notes, so we are going to go through. For those who like, okay, so what am I supposed to get out of here? Nimeandika notes. We are going to go through and see what you're gaining. Okay? Yeah, guys. So without further ado, let's get into the book. Okay, so where do we begin? Now, basically, the first part is definitely the introduction and all that stuff and why. So let us first of all do the introductions that we can know this story. Who's the main character, right? Yeah. Okay. The three shots ring out in quick succession. They fly past the tin shack where Shafiq's eyes blast open, smashing his dream and pulling him from his deep sleep. He's paralyzed with fear, his heart beating in his throat, his body frozen in time, waiting to hear if the shots were aimed at him or someone else. But it suddenly goes very quiet and the tension in his muscles slowly lessens. These rude awakenings are nothing new in the township where Shafiq lives. Gangsters marking territories, removing those who do not dance to their tunes. You can count yourself lucky if a stray bullet does not pierce you and you're not caught in the crossfire and you make it the next morning. So basically, we have gotten a character. His name is Shafiq and he lives in a gang-laden area. Shafiq glances at his watch. It's 4:40 and he knows he will not be able to go back to sleep. Maybe a hot cup of coffee will help restart his day. Shafiq was born in a poverty-stricken suburb on the Cape Flats. His mom was an 18-year-old girl from a rich suburb. When she fell pregnant with Shafiq, her family sent her packing, renouncing her. His father was a young man who came from India trying to build a new future for himself. The most these two young lovers could do for themselves was build a makeshift one-room shack on the flats and furnish it with second-hand pieces, a bed, a table, and a chair. So basically, that is all Shafiq has in his one-roomed tin shack. A bed, a table, and a chair. Now you can see his background is, well, more or less troubled. Now, remember the stray bullets? His father was not so lucky. He was killed in the crossfire between two rival gangs when Shafiq was only 5 years old. Difficult times were to follow. His mother had to stretch her meager salary to provide for Shafiq and his younger sister. So he has a sister. Under those conditions, this young man, Shafiq, spent his formative years. Poverty was everywhere. Small children played outside while their parents tried to earn some money to buy the basic necessities. Young adults who had left school before finishing their schooling but had no opportunity to study could be found just hanging around, selling drugs and getting swallowed up by gangs. You can truly relate to that. Now, with a steaming cup of coffee in his hand, Shafiq, for a moment, puts away the thoughts of his father's untimely death. He has to get ready for his first day as a waiter at a popular local restaurant. The steakhouse is located in the rich neighborhood against the backdrop of the Table Mountain in Cape Town. Cape Town is in South Africa, for those who do not know, by the way. Now, it was time to put into practice what he had learned during his training. He knew he was ready, but the butterflies in his stomach made him feel jumpy. With his neat apron and his name glistening on his chest, he steps up to meet his first customer. The man is in his late 40s and exudes confidence. He's surely a businessman. With a wide smile, Shafiq leads the man to the table and offers us something to drink. The man must be a regular as he does not hesitate to order without glancing at the menu. While he eats, and reads the newspaper. Shafiq stands at a distance, watching him. He notes that the man has his vehicle keys, mobile phone, and tablet neatly stacked away in the table at his right-hand side. Shafiq is somehow in awe, and what he sees, he cannot pinpoint exactly what is holding his attention. Once the man is done, Shafiq greets him, breathing a sigh of relief that all went well. Little was it to know that this man would later come to play a pivotal role in his life. 3 months later, Shafiq's client walks in and their interaction more or less follows the same pattern as the previous one. Now, this is definitely the man that Shafiq was looking at on his first day at his work. With one exception. This day, while cleaning the table after the man had left, Shafiq finds 10 100 rand notes under the serviette. His insides turn cold and he feels a slight sweat on his brow. What? 1,000 rand? His mind starts racing. Just think of what he could do with such money. And surely no one would notice if he quickly slips it in his pocket. He finds himself quickly looking around to see if someone else had spotted his find. With a sigh, he stops his own thoughts and pulls himself together. A thief? That is not who he is. He walks over to the manager to report what he has found. Luckily, they have the man's number and promptly inform him of the misplaced notes. When the man collects the money the next day, he slips a business card into Shafiq's hands with a message that says, I will mentor you to be successful for free. Contact me if you're interested. John Wiseman. Now, let's take a pause there. So Shafiq we have seen him, his background, and we've basically seen him walking into his first day. He meets this man who looks definitely to be a guru, a business guru. He observes him, and then 3 months down the line, he becomes a regular, and turns out that Shafiq is the one who serves them because now he's a regular customer. Then this one day, the man intentionally leaves the 1,000 rand notes on the table, of which Shafiq later gives it back to the manager, and that is when the man decides, like, you know what, this young man seems to be honest, so, and leaves this business card that says, I will mentor you for free. Everyone, tumeshikana, sindio, let's continue. Now, Shafiq stares at the card, his heart beating wildly. He cannot believe it. Is this the chance he has been hoping for? The day drags on as Shafiq longs to get home and call Mr. Wiseman. Some of the other waiters have told him that Mr. Wiseman is a professor of neurology and that he is a billionaire with shares in many businesses. But to Shafiq, he just looks like any other ordinary man, like any other businessman in Cape Town. By this, South Africa has kind of like balance between the poor and the rich. So, everybody is ordinary. The middle class is a lot of people. Now that night, with trembling fingers, Shafiq punches in John Wiseman's number on his mobile phone. It just rings. Shafiq leaves a nervous message, not having much hope that the man will phone back. So definitely the man does not pick up the phone. An hour later, John phones back and makes their first appointment. Oh, happy day. The man finally calls back, and so they make their appointment. Now, let's skip to the next day, okay? During their appointment. Now, Mr. Wiseman's office is on the 8th floor and overlooks the Atlantic Ocean. Shafiq sinks into the comfortable leather chair as they sit across from each other. He clutches the hot, freshly made coffee in his hands. John senses Shafiq's nervousness and tries to keep the conversation light and exploratory. He tells Shafiq a bit about his background. Shafiq can definitely identify with the struggles of poverty, like we see. John's father worked for the railroad company, and he grew up in a small village alongside the railroad tracks. After finishing school, he had to find work. There was no money for further studies. He started as a clerk in the bank and saved enough money to start his first year medicine at the university. He excelled at his studies and was awarded scholarships for his second year onwards. Now, he specialized in neurology, and neurology deals with brain, for those who don't know. Now, and was appointed as a lecturer soon after he finished his community service. There's a way that colleges in this, what do we call them? These first world and second world countries, there's a way that their studies go, like ni kama venye huku tunakuwa na internship, sasa huku wanaitanga community service, okay? While working and studying, he also started his first small business, buying and selling good quality second-hand clothes on Saturdays at the flea market near the beach. And so he started gaining financial experience at the bank and business experience with his micro enterprise and learned about brain during his years at the university. Now, this man, John Wiseman, turns out is a professor of neurology in a very prestigious university. But now he tells Shafiq of where he came from. We can definitely see that he too did not come from a well-up family. His father worked in the railroad. Now, I should let you know that those workers who work in the railroad tracks in South Africa are just paid mega salaries, like a cleaner or a builder here in Kenya. And so we see him. He struggled to make his year. First, he worked as a clerk to gain his first year, and then afterwards, because of his brilliant mind, he gained scholarship and was able to go through, alafu kidogo kidogo akaanza kabiashara kamitumba wasee, kama hiyo yenye tunafanyanga huko, tunauza manguo kwa phone. Yeah, so today he is a successful professor in neurology as well as a successful businessman with various businesses. John Wiseman knew what it was like to be given a chance. His thankfulness led him to want to share his success, and he therefore decided to choose a willing student with whom he would share the principles he had learned. Shafiq was one of those finds that he wanted to see succeed. Too quickly, the visit reaches its end and they decide to meet each other for an hour every third week for a mentoring and coaching session. John has already indicated that he wants to teach Shafiq about 10 important keys that will help him unlock his potential, which is our title for the book. After revealing each key, Shafiq would have to do some homework before their next meeting, and the first few minutes of the following session would then be spent on the feedback on the assignment. Doing things increases the speed of change, and John is set on helping Shafiq change his future until success becomes a normalcy. Okay, so that is the introductory part of this book. Now, what have we learned from that introductory part of that book? Unlocking our potential. Now, definitely, apart from learning our character's name, Shafiq, and seeing that he's starting his mentorship journey, his successful journey, which hopefully is going to end up well, we have also learned one or two things. Now, number one, what have we picked up today? Today we have picked up that honesty and faithfulness can open doors to places you never knew you could go. Now, what gives this away? What gives it away is, you remember when John Wiseman, the mentor, the businessman, the rich billionaire, left the 1,000 rand notes on the table in the serviette intentionally to test the man. He knew that that man Shafiq was the one who was coming to clean the table, because definitely he was a regular. And when you're given a table, that is your table to look after. So when he left them there, Shafiq could have very easily decided to stack the money away. He needed the money, but he decided to give it away. And through that, John Wiseman came to see that he was an honest young man. And so he decided to mentor the young man to become successful in life. You guys, can you imagine having a billionaire coach you one-on-one? It's like meeting Michael Joseph of Kenya, CEO Safaricom, or meeting Churchill, for those who, or meeting Kenyatta, Ruto, or for those who are rolling in the international realm. It's like Elon Musk comes and tells you, I will coach you personally, or Beyonce, or Jeff Bezos, or all those people, or Priyanka Chopra, because I'm an actor. If she comes and tells me, I'm coaching you in acting, that is a big deal, So having such a person coach you, it's opening doors. It will teach you things you never knew you could go. And he's definitely going to take you to places you never could get with your rumpty looking self, right? Yeah, so just because he was honest and faithful, that made him get access to a business mogul who probably ever in his life hata angewahi ongeleshana except for the, hi sir, what do you want? A coffee? Oh, thank you, you're welcome. Yeah, right. Okay. Point number 2 of what we have learned. We have learned that where you come from should not determine your future. Now, why do I say this? Now, this one comes in the story of John Wiseman. You have heard that he was born, he too was brought up in a poverty-stricken area. Like I said, the railroad tracks are no joke in South Africa. It's like the builders in Kenya. Mjengo, guys. So, him being brought up in such an area and seeing where he is today, that he's a billionaire, he's a professor of neurology in a prestigious university, the fact that he's a well-known businessman, that one. And having seen his journey, and you have seen that he put himself through school and he had to work for where he is right now, practically shows where you come from should never determine your future. Now, point number 3 that you have learned, we have also learned that you should push yourself in order for opportunities to find you. This both applies for Shafiq and for Wiseman. Wiseman had to work his ass off every day to get where he is. He had to work as a clerk to get himself through the first year of university in medicine. Then the next one, he had to work hard in his studies to earn a scholarship to finish up medicine, right? And then after that, he had to put himself to open up a second-hand cloth to put himself through to sustain himself because he needed food. You know, nika venye huku tunauzanga nguo za mitumba on weekends or through phone so that you can put ourselves through university. It's more or less the same. He had to push himself to get there. And the fact that, you see, there's this place whereby, let me go back a bit. It says, through opening his own business of second-hand clothes in the flea market, he gained a practical experience of how business worked. And the fact that he worked as a clerk in the bank, by the way, I didn't mention that, it was in the bank, meant that he learned how banks worked and he gained an experience with money. Now, him also studying medicine and specializing in neurology, he got to understand how the brain works. So he gained experience on the brain, experience on the business, and experience on how money works. Very practical and very realistic. So you have to push yourself hard to get opportunities. Opportunities won't come to you when you're sitting in your house. You have to get your ass out and work. And remember, nowadays it's all about working smart, not working hard. Working hard is a must, but also just don't work hard. Work smart. Let your money do the working. Either way, guys, that is all for tonight. Let us not extend this video and make it longer than it's supposed to be. That is all for tonight. Let's see you on the next one, whereby we are going to begin on the next chapter. Now we are going to begin because, like you said, you said 10 important keys. So practically, these are the keys to unlocking our potential, right? We'll begin with that one on the next one. The first one is called the pink brain. So until the next one, guys, I love you. Good night. Bye. And don't forget to like, share, and comment on this video.